No white kids and just blaming no white citizens, aiming at the vice president. Bunch of class clowns. Niggas kneeling on the field, that's a flag down. How dare you try to make demands for this money? You gonna show us some respect, you gonna stand for this country.
We're gonna stream a little bit and I'm gonna sketch some stuff today.
I'm just prepared for this type of war.
Just trying to relax, honestly.
Fighting for y'all can take that motherfucker too. He ain't white no more. It's like you wanna be so famous.
Yep, we're gonna stream a little bit and I'm gonna sketch some stuff. What's going on? Hello. I'm gonna have some fun. Yeah, I'm gonna also, let me put some music in here.
You'll do anything for attention and a little payment.
But also I'm gonna just, I guess, walk you guys through some of the sketching techniques and stuff. And we're gonna sketch some stuff, some creature stuff. And there's just some questions, all the good stuff. I'm gonna do some Last of Us. Sit hack. Get that hype going. Hype train. Let me know if the audio's okay, music's okay. I'm just gonna get jamming. How's it going, Black Knight? What's going on, guys? Hopefully this is okay. You guys can hear me okay? My consumption is the illest. Section 8, I know you feel this on the come up. Would they run up on you for nothing at all? Brighter than 11 suns. It's the first when my life's going good, Ed. Keeping busy, you know. Sometimes pretty stressful, but you know, that's the usual. That's why I'm trying to do more of these, you know. Trying to keep it relax a little bit. Let me see if I can get just sketch out some creature. Really like keep it within like an hour maybe. You guys have seen like some of my tutorials. It's kind of like how I usually start stuff. With just simple primitive and try to real quick, like also keep it interesting. I did work on that a little bit. Not nearly as much as the internal team. I was a different team when that was going on. I did. The hype is real. Do some clickers, some infected. Now they know my name through the nation, cause my single like they good shit, man, always in rotation. That ain't no logic for logic, not through my affiliations. Stacking profit on profit from this music I'm making. Even Jesus had haters, so when you feeling forsaken, tell him jealous Judas is who this is, and man, that'll break him. I mean, I see a lot of, for the Blender question, like, if you know, kind of do a sculpt in Blender, I see a lot of people using it. I just haven't really tried yet. I'm doing good, brother. I don't know how's the delay for when I'm looking at the audio, but I'm doing pretty good. We're gonna be doing some creature type of stuff. So like usually I keep it pretty loose at the beginning. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna first just kind of start sketching something, kind of a base type of anatomy stuff.
but I'm already kind of just breaking off just a little bit because I want to do something like Last of Us inspired. And I know they kind of base their stuff mostly on humans and how they would kind of like zombies, right? Like how they would evolve from or change based on the the disease or whatever. So I'll start with some base, but I want to push it a little bit more. Do something that's a little more of a creature. I guess to get something different, something unique. Fala, Gabriel. Cara, eu não falo português pra não ficar só com a galera em BR, entende? A maioria consegue entender inglês, então mas nem todo mundo consegue entender português. I'm gonna also just keep it pretty loose on the shapes. And like see how much we could do it, like an hour or so. Stop rapping about my drug use. I'm 2 years clean, no longer a fiend. Yeah, I'm 57, but I feel 19, and I love you. And you guys, feel free to send questions too about the process or what you guys up to. Try to keep this pretty chill. I've been trying to share more, especially during this time that we're all kind of at home. And it's kind of hard to relax also with everything that's been going on. This is just kind of another opportunity to keep it interesting.
Hey, what's up, bro?
So you can see here, it's just very quickly we can get something that starts feeling like a human. I'm only worried about this front face here. And then I'll kind of keep going and like do we can add to the back, especially because of that. What I want to try to do with the disease, the infection, I'll try to keep this somewhat loose.
I don't know how to tell them this shit, so just have fun. Man, more shit on your plate. You ain't gotta hit me, dog, but if you do, I appreciate it. We'll be back. Love you. Do your thing.
I'm gonna also just extract the bottom, the teeth here real quick, just so I can work with a different geo. That's gonna help me just keep things organized as we start sketching out like the teeth and stuff. So guys, make sure you guys also hit that subscribe, because I'm not gonna be posting. It kind of like takes a long time just to keep like posting on Instagram and letting you guys know that I'm doing this, but I'm planning to do more of these. So if you're subscribed to this to YouTube, at least I think you guys you get notified or something. As you see, like I can get like a mouth shape like fairly quick. What's up, Daniel? Dude, get in here, dude. Send the link. Make people feel bad. Join us here. Gotta do like that little sketch together, Yeah, so here I can kind of start drawing the teeth fairly quick and get that shape, keep it organized. Like I could do the same on that same geo, but it will start getting like pretty messy if I do that. For now, I don't have the final shape at all, but you guys can get kind of an idea of like that. I could start manipulating this to create something interesting. Just duplicate this. No mirror to the bottom side. See that? And start getting that shape.
just love you too. Anyway, son, I love you.
Everything, of course, is just dynameshed, you know.
And just keep grinding, you know. And yeah, I don't want to.
Hey guys, if I don't answer the question, I'm not looking at the chat every, you know, every moment. So if I miss something, let me know, or answer or ask again, you know. How's this looking? How's the camera looking here?
Zoe, Simon.
You know I'm taking the first hostage I see.
Tommy. Crowd control. Crowd control. Red.
So we're gonna keep jamming.
What?
I got cell phones.
Who the fuck is this guy?
Know your lane, Red.
I swear to
We
God.
can kind
Know
of
your lane, Red.
music is
Who
this?
the fuck is this guy?
Dude, he's the dude who did fucking half a yacht in Shirley with my dad, dude. Calm down.
Yo, is we gonna do this shit?
I'm using ZBrush, guys. And yes, Jason, I do use a lot of hotkeys. And a lot of hotkeys. Like you don't see me going on menus a lot. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is part of hotkeys. I'm always just kind of switching it up, you know.
Cause I never been happy with myself, and I don't need no one feeling bad for me. Trying to offer me pity and throw jabs at me. Wanna give me advice and then laugh at me.
I do like Breaking Bad. Who doesn't like Breaking Bad?
Me and myself. I'm tired of living
You know what I mean?
cry. Here it's easy to die. I wanna
Breaking Bad is one of the best shows ever created, dude.
everyone else, but I'm depressed as fuck. Stressed as fuck. Ain't no medicine that can cure what's intense as drugs I need.
I'm gonna start making like maybe some kind of like an orcish type of dude.
Where the fuck is God?
And then I'll start
Maybe I ain't believing enough, but
I'll
today
start
we gonna see if
adding
it's real.
the
And if he is, then I guess I'm
the
like going
infection
down.
type of stuff.
I
Let me
wanna
change
try
this
like this.
music
I
real
ain't
quick.
picture my life like this. They don't know what it's like this. Pretending
This
I'm
is
happy
too
so I can
much.
smile like this and laugh like.
There you go.
First, we're affected by what we know. When I talk to the kids in high school classes, college classes, that's the first thing I tell
So
them.
probably
Get the
hear
information while you're here.
like kids screaming on the back.
Worse than being stupid when you get
Normal.
out of school. So get the information. Being broke is bad, but being stupid is what's really bad. And what's really, really bad is being broke and stupid.
This is shit I dreamed about when I was only 4. Sugar, water, mac and cheese, we were broken poor.
So I'm gonna just start manipulating this just a little bit. And this will probably not gonna end up looking like this at all.
I never needed your acceptance. This is
Try to get some sort of design and let me try to go a little crazy.
Can't knock me off the block. This is not Tetris. Life lessons I learned. Tables turn. That's my assessment. They told me to be patient, but I need a
Yeah, see, you know, Ed has the right idea here. Daniel, I'm gonna do that art blast. Just doing something together, fool. Alright, guys, so I'm gonna duplicate this. I want to get at least a base for the sculpting part here. I'm gonna get the neck.
Fuck it, it don't faze me, I don't stay in my feelings. Thought money would change me, but it changed all my niggas.
Here.
I just bought a Lamborghini and painted the ceiling. I ain't bragging, I'm just happy I
Being
made
very
me a million.
loose again.
ADHD, I was slow, now they label me brilliant. I'm proud of niggas like Hov, he made him $1 billion. I hope I never go broke, try to break through the ceilings. 50,000 on the low, I might make an appearance.
You see, just trying to get the anatomy, like, get the base in there and then smooth it out. That's kind of the difference, and a lot of people, even I think I saw it on the chat of like drawing. Like people ask if I draw. To me, like the biggest difference that I find with like drawing versus just sculpting is that you do a lot of this. Like even traditional sculpting, where you do a lot of just manipulating the shape, like getting a base in there and then just manipulate the shape. Where drawing in like clay, you just gotta get that initial form like in place, you know, right from the start. So I do like, I find it a lot more relaxing of when I'm sculpting in 3D. I don't need to have a lot of constraints on what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of like playing with the shape, having fun until I find something that I like. Like even here, I have no idea what this is gonna end up as. I mean, I have some sort of direction that I'm taking of like, oh, maybe I'll try to do some sort of orcish type of infected, like that pushes the shape a little bit more than what we've seen before. Almost like a kind of a, yeah, like an orcish, I mean, maybe like a troll type of creature, but I like to like experiment a lot more, you know. Let's start breaking this out. Get a little bit more of that gum. Now I'm breaking the symmetry here on the face already. I want this to be very asymmetrical.
And what's really, really bad is being broke and stupid.
I play with the forms of the face. I get that the fungus taking over half of the face. Maybe you can see a nose. Maybe kind of see kind of that crack going up. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you can kind of really push the shape of it. You watch the chat here real quick. Hey, Stunda, have you ever thought about doing art reviews? I've done some. I've done one in the YouTube. So if you go back, there's like a little portfolio reviews, and then so during that stream, we actually talked about expanding it a little bit more to like maybe pushing to like art reviews on specific projects, because I was just doing more of an overall art review. So yeah, that could be cool for sure. Maybe we'll do that in the future. Gotta keep it fun. I'm looking at some reference right now, mostly from like some old kind of Last of Us stuff, because I want to try to mimic a little bit of what they had going on and add kind of the, you know, a new twist to it. That's kind of what I'm looking at right now. And probably push this a little bit more. Kind of have like an ear on this side. So the one thing that I keep kind of talking about, guys, especially when I do like my workshops and classes and stuff, that you got to have like the anatomy figured out. You know, like before you guys start even designing stuff on ZBrush or in 3D in general, like make sure you guys just study anatomy. Like doing like an ear should be like a very straightforward process for you. Just getting that shape in here and like knowing like what you have to do in just kind of a couple brush strokes, like you get some sort of an ear shape. Like get to a point where you're very used to, or yeah, you practice enough that you're just used to like doing anatomy related tasks that won't become like a blocker for you. Like if you're trying to figure out like a shape of an ear or the face, like an eye, while you're doing like a sketch or where you're kind of designing it, like it means you probably need to take a step back and just kind of study those things like on its own. Like just practice like doing ears and body anatomy, like the face. Practice those things in a vacuum, you know. So when you need to do something like this, like it will come a little more natural. Like maybe I don't even need a ear here, and I could have started this with like a base mesh, but it's like it should be quick enough to like for you guys to do something like this. And I mean, that only kind of comes with practice. So I do recommend you doing a few different, a lot of different sketches on that. And you almost saw like when I was first starting, I didn't follow anything on for the face. Like for those who've seen my tutorials in like anatomy, like I do have kind of a formula for the things that I'm doing, but like at this point, it comes a little more natural to me. But I do recommend you guys kind of pushing it, you know, like just study separate. I'll go back to the chat in a second. I'm just trying to get ahead of on this because I know time is gonna go real fast. And let me get at least the face kind of blocked out. You can kind of see like, you know, there's some interesting stuff going on here, and very naturally I got, you know, some shapes that that I'm kind of happy with, but they'll probably change once I start developing this a little bit more. And let me see this. Gay ball, man. What's up, dude? He's a legend. Let me check the chat real quick. I know it's probably, when I look at it right now, it's probably, I missed probably a bunch of stuff. So I'm sorry if I don't see some stuff, guys, but I appreciate you guys being here, man. This is awesome. And thanks for sending all the questions, honestly. We try to keep jamming or the music stop.
So listen, buddy. I'm going to give you a little test. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, guys, I use Maya and ZBrush and 3ds Max for personal stuff,
It's a test that we give to smart kids
but mainly ZBrush and then
so we can see how
and 3ds Max. At work, it's all Maya, so I had to learn that. But my base software, my base tools, I guess, is Max and ZBrush.
Such a big boy. Okay.
Hey, William, how often I'm streaming? I'm not streaming a lot. I've been trying to do it like on the weekends, but the weekends are just I'm just chatting with some friends.
Okay, let's start with this one. What do you see in this picture?
And actually, like art streaming like this is probably the first one.
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
Yeah, I don't know if I can try Twitch. I just don't use it as much. That's why the first gut was to just do YouTube. Because I'm more used to YouTube and the interface and all that. I don't get Twitch, how Twitch works yet, but I'll look into it.
Buddy, you might be a genius. How about this one?
That's a basketball.
Yeah, so like getting the face structure here. I'm just gonna throw an eyeball in there. And one of the ways to do that is just with insert brush, right? Insert primitives instead of like doing moving the sphere into place, ending it. So I'm just gonna throw a sphere in here, and I'm gonna split it to a new subtool, so we can get that in there.
We're gonna try this again. You better not fuck up this
And
time.
then you're gonna get it.
It's a condom.
I'm gonna just throw like a blind eye in here, just to keep it fun.
Please don't make me regret that.
I usually try to keep it
You know what?
kind of like throw the colors in as soon as I can, just to keep it interesting. And I'm also gonna just fill it with like a toy plastic shader,
That looks like
just to get that highlight in there.
We're gonna try this again.
And we're gonna keep jamming.
Fuck up this time.
I said it's a loaded gun.
What are you, a fucking retard?
How long do we spend here?
Mentally challenged?
5 minutes, I guess.
What the fuck is the matter with
I have
you?
no idea. But yeah,
I'm trying.
I can kind of massage the shape in here,
Look at the fucking picture.
get the eyeball in there.
Trying
You can see the resolution is pretty low right now, as you would expect. Try to keep it very low till the end of it. I'm actually gonna split this jaw into a separate subtool. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to play with the shape a little bit more. And because it's a creature, I can easily like blend in the scene. And this will give me some freedom to just experiment a little bit more. I do want to kind of have it, all the skin on this side, push it. I think what was that albino orc on Lord of the Rings, they did a similar thing, right? When I think his face was full. Gotta do something like that, and something with the lips here. I let the money change me a lot. I let the money change me a lot. I let the money change me a lot. All of them promises I forgot. I let the money change me a lot. I let the money. You know, like for Albino is asking about the what is it called, like the gizmo. I've been using the transpose kind of tool like for a long time, and I still haven't switched to the gizmo. I know it's better. I have friends, Igor even say like, dude, like, why you just use that? I'm like, I don't know, I'm just kind of an old school like to the tool, so it usually takes me a while to switch. I'll try to get some of that fungus go on this side. What I'm gonna do here is just kind of extract a piece of it, that. I'm gonna hit kind of the extract button here, get that piece, and just kind of like pull it to the side, something like that. Get it in place here. Kind of get somewhat of the shape in here. You can see like it was kind of very free flow, I guess, free formed in the beginning, not going like too deep into like the anatomy and stuff, and kind of quickly get something that kind of looks interesting. Usually, guys, like that's the kind of stuff that I do for myself. Like it's just fun. So I'm hoping like it helps some of you. Keep it inspired, you know, kind of keep it. You shouldn't treat this as a job, to be honest. Like I see a lot of people, you know, like sometimes you have to focus and to be like, you know, every piece is like a portfolio piece or whatever, but you gotta get some times where you just have some fun and start something. Like it's all about like keeping it interesting. Oh, that didn't come out. Really keep it interesting for you. Keep it inspired. Like after I do this, like even if I don't take this to final, like you know, at least it gets me kind of motivated to just do more stuff. So then it comes like the next thing that I do will come much easier. Yeah, so like here on the eye, we'll probably grow some of that skin stretching. You can kind of see like how it stretches and how it kind of like get the forms out of the simple brushes that I did before. And I'm always just trying to like see it from the simplicity of some of the shapes, like see what's happening and just kind of going with the flow. It's usually works pretty well. Turn the whole world to a crisis. Walk around the city with an ice pick. I've been paranoid. Usually I ain't like this. Ain't no. Can you guys hear me alright? Based on kind of the music and all that. In my whole life I've been lifeless. Now I'm so fly. I'm a motherfucking flight risk.
Fuck a couple hoes till I
Look
pass
at the
out.
hair real
Whoa.
quick.
Niggas throwing stones at my glass house. Whoa. I remember sleeping on my dad's couch. Whoa. Now I got the Bentley and it's blacked out. Whoa.
Yeah, I'm not for the reference. I'm not using a lot of reference. I only have a couple images from the first game just to see how they're doing the inflection. And everything else is just based on that initial kind of form that I started sketching. If I were to do this for real, like a legit piece, I would definitely have reference. But not for this. We don't have a lot of time anyways.
According to the American Psychiatric Association,
Like this side here is not working as good.
8% of children and 2% of adults, commonly believed to only affect
Probably need to
boys
kind
because
of
they are perceived
carry over that. Carry over that shape down to the bottom here.
3 times for them days on the block getting chased by the cops like a motherfucking outlaw. 4 times for them days that were all bad. 5 times for the bitches who ain't called back. 6 times for the kids like me who got ADHD just to...
Me and Jordan need a couple hearses. Double homicide, kill the beat and the verses. Everybody living on the surface, but we came from the underground. Yeah, we
So I'm just kind of like going around looking at what's happening because you saw it from a long time. I was just looking at that one angle, and now that the shape is kind of getting interesting, I can go back and just start looking into the other angles, you know, to get the same feeling. I'm also just gonna inflate this back here, try to get those mushroom type of shapes. Hopefully this doesn't crash out. I also did a lot of that kind of cauliflower type of look where it just like opens up. Maybe I'll do something like on this side where it kind of like splits it open. Something like this. Like this is another thing that I'm always looking at when you're designing, how kind of the forms kind of flow together.
One time for the Grammy that I never got, 2 times for the garden that I sold out, 3 times for the street crimes that I committed. Yeah, I did it, but thank God that I made it out. 4 times cause I'm a fucking bastard. 5 times platinum with my ass shit. 6 times for the beats and the rhymes. Fuck the heat and the crime, keep the peace like a waistline.
Yeah, we should definitely do that. It'd be chaos. Trying to get something that looks cool. Again, this is still very low res. You see how like the quality, how low it is. I'm definitely not worrying about like how fancy these shape looks and how detailed and all that. I'm looking at the overall picture here and how the forms read. Then I can start really like you know, up-resing this stuff. That's the easy part. The fun is the beginning here. You get all that those shapes to like flow together and all that. And also like here on the neck, I'll do the same thing. Get some of those forms in here. Try to give him maybe like a 2 more on that side. Let's see if this works. Something like that. Here. Again, like we're probably getting to like the small details now. Trying to figure out like the shape, because I'll probably do something like a render like this. Something like that. Starting to feel pretty cool. But I'll probably not get to that today. Maybe we'll do another one. Just maybe like wrapping this up. So still lots to do here. You know, like the shape is interesting. That's kind of like I think that's what matters the most. Let me just try to get that to look decent. Maybe get that, maybe a little more of a darker background. Maybe we can just push it more that top or this whole section here. You guys can see here on the silhouette on the corner. Like I'm looking at that and seeing how we can push it. Maybe you gotta separate that ear from the face. I'll do the same thing here where this kind of flower kind of like splits open. You can kind of get from the silhouette. I'm gonna kind of capture the camera here so I can kind of keep going back to that view and start pushing these shapes. Look at that. Look at that nasty guy. Let me pull this back a little bit on the teeth there. Maybe make him look a little more human. Do something like that.
Hey man, what up, man? Jonah, man, what's happening, man?
You know, push this side of the traps down. You can kind of see on the silhouette here. It's kind of what I'm working with.
My mama got ADHD too, my nigga. And she ain't never used that as no damn
We'll try to push the shapes on this.
My great-great-grandmama had ADHD, and so did my granddaddy. All you need to do, man, smoke a little weed, man. Get your mind right. Get all these goddamn people waiting on you. Man, I thought you were supposed to drop that damn album 2 years ago, man. I done shot.
Hey, so for the drawing question, Scott, is like I mean, obviously I didn't draw this because I'm just sketching it right now. I'm just figuring it out as we go here. But yeah, I usually draw. Like I suck at drawing for sure, but I try to draw as much as I can. Sketch like here and there once in a while.
Goddamn, we waiting. Bye.
So Bernardo's here? Oh, there he is. What's up, dude?
Get away from me.
Chilling.
If I was you, I watch what you say to me. Snakes all in my bed, wanna lay with me. This ain't no motherfucking game, why you play with me? Don't play with me.
So like from here, we could probably start to like maybe just split it up some, or I mean, sorry, excuse me, start cleaning up some of the shapes. Look at this guy, nasty. Who's excited for The Last of Us? She's gonna be awesome.
But I stopped loving ever since I got fucked over. Hold on, call me. I don't know you. You gotta keep that same energy. I'm not no regular entity. I'm not
1 second, guys.
I don't know what's gotten into me lately. I'm just feeling finicky lately. I just want the cake and the greatest amenities lately. I ain't got no sympathy.
Yeah.
Aim at the industry. This ain't the way that they picture me. What's your identity? I guess I'm lining them up. I keep my 9 at the club. All of y'all niggas gon' bleed. Guess it's that time of the month. I done came up in the mud.
As for the song, this is all Joyner Lucas songs.
Get away from me. If I was you, I watch what you say to me. Snakes all in my bed, wanna lay with me. This ain't no motherfucking game, why you play with me? Don't play with me, this the only thing I love.
I'm working on a game character, but I started a long time ago. Some technical stuff are not the best I can do today. For example, UVs, but the textures look good. I think it's an issue for a portfolio. Lucas, I think, I mean, it could be, depending on how it looks. It's better to just update, you know, as a whole, like leaving pieces that you're not happy with on the portfolio. If the pieces are old, I would just take them out. Try to do something that you think it's good for the knowledge that you currently have, you know. It's always good to clean the portfolio. It shows that you kind of have at least an understanding of, you know, that things are bad.
You ain't never seen my boat. Hit him with the east side smoke. I'ma kill everyone, I'm a G.I. Joe. Hide my weapons, I let my Levi's go. If a nigga with pimpin', you'll probably be my hoe. I need some different opponents. I think I live in the moment. I fuck my bitch in the morning. I take that shit when I want it. All you new niggas be frying. You just be lying. I keep it 300. Came up for nothing. I say what I wanted. No, ain't no discussion. I aim and
Okay, so from here,
away from me. If I was you, I watch what you say to me. Snakes all
let's
in my
start to break this
bed,
down.
won't lay with me. This ain't no motherfucker game. Why you play with me? Don't play with me.
Start to break this down and start adding details and stuff. Kind of keep it interesting. First thing I'm gonna do is actually detail one of these things. Let me just save this. I'm gonna duplicate this guy and then just delete the rest. And I'm gonna. So the reason I'm gonna do that is because easier to duplicate and I keep it clean. So I'll just ZBrush this thing with the shape that we have. You know, subdivide it. You know, I'm just gonna detail. I'm not gonna go like super crazy with the details for sure. Like this is more of a. I want to treat it more as a sketch.
I'm staring at this Bible as I keep glancing.
But
I got questions and I
want to
need
get at
answers.
least some
Trying to understand your vision. All I see is damage. Just a bunch
some more
of dead
legit
bodies in the
detailing
street
that's,
camping.
you know, easier
A
to
bunch of
keep
lost souls on their feet
keep it clean.
standing.
So
We supposed to be your children. I thought we family. You supposed to be my father, bro.
something
I
like
need
that.
answers. We don't need to die young. We just need chances. Tired of living on
Get some of the
edge, so we
details
keep
here
scrambling.
at the
Tryna
tip.
talk to these strippers, but they keep dancing. We just want me number one like Steve Francis. Bow our heads,
Again, you can see I'm keeping this low res still, right?
I turn, I'm seeing MCs
And you see why.
vanish. Lot of good niggas
It's because
gone,
when
I don't
I
understand
subdivide it,
Lot of families lost and they see
it will
stranded.
kind of like
I ain't trying to
bring it all
disrespect you,
together.
I just need answers. I know you watching us from heaven thinking who to save. Cherry picking
Like when I
who should go
subdivide
next
this,
and who should stay.
I still get a little bit of the artifacting, which is cool.
And bring back every good nigga
Something
you
like
choose
that.
to take. They say you
And I
never
can
wrong,
kind of
but you made a few mistakes. Could you
just
take
kind of
it
like
wrong,
cut out
niggas?
some
Maybe you should
pieces.
trade. Trade us back all the real ones, remove the fakes.
The more I do that, the more kind of organic it looks, the more kind of like realistic. Because once you start getting like all the same spacing everywhere, that's when you're gonna start getting like stylized. So try to keep it loose and organic, something like that. And then from here, it'll be easier to get the final shape out of it. And I'm gonna just throw some base colors. Again, this is not final at all, but we're just gonna start visualizing the piece as a whole. How it could possibly look at the end. Is there anything you guys like want to see me do on these things? Yeah, I've been doing like the just kind of stream with friends, and I'll definitely do more of those. Try to get more information to you guys. Something that, you know, usually just talk private with friends and stuff. We can try to get that over to you guys, like about the industry and, you know, what kind of studios are looking for and portfolio, like all that stuff. Like I'm gonna keep doing that.
I ain't even mad at that. Just bring back Whitney and give us Michael Jackson back. Feds want me and then slam it down. Ain't no justice for Sandra Bland. We up like a sailing fan. Lord, if you listen, I'm just looking for a hand in hand. Take out the fuck niggas and give us back our fam again. Drowning in my tears, trying to pray for some. Wonder why you give us life for you.
Hey, dude, for the extract, you just hit the extract button. That's it.
Maybe hopefully you can have a conversation with us. Maybe I'm probably tripping because I need a hug.
So
Can't find jobs, now we need a plug. Everybody and their mama trying to be a thug. I don't go to church cause I'm afraid of being judged. I've been staring at the ceiling as I lie in bed. Watching niggas follow trends like Simon says. I pray you give us back the real ones and try again. Or maybe take them niggas that deserve to die instead. Tommy Lauren run them
this is kind of important just because the more we do that here, like the more time it would save. And this is gonna be a small one.
got
these
dementia.
small ones.
Cost too much to pay attention and it got expensive. Father, forgive me for I know not what I do, and now
Something
I'm
like
reaching
that,
out
and
to
I'm
you,
just gonna.
hoping you hear me and
This is way
return the
too high
message.
for
I know that you
what
got
this
a
needs
back
to
and that
be.
you're not against us. Or maybe you just love it, so you doing shit to test us. I just kinda thought that you would do more to protect us. They say the good die young, and I ain't on the guest list. I've been drinking, Lord, forgive me as my blood racing. I don't know what I'm thinking, I'm just frustrated. I don't mean to question you, I'm just confused. I don't know what else to do. I've been patient and it sucks waiting. Took my mans from me, that forever hurts. But putting the blame on you, that'll never work. I know this ain't your fault, it's the devil's work. Devil's work.
Yeah, guys, thanks for kind of helping on the stream. I appreciate you guys replying, because there are some questions that I see that I already talked about on the portfolio stream. We can definitely talk about it again. I just don't want to like just keep repeating myself. But so I do appreciate you guys just pointing to the good stuff. Right. So that's the thing, like you see, like the beginning is very much like just like freestyling. You get the free form in there, and now it starts to get a little more technical, a little more boring. But again, part of the process. I'm gonna try to speed it up through this because I want to keep this pretty loose. We can actually get some interesting details just merging all this together. Keep it a little more sketchy. Because then, you know, ideally this will be cool to like paint over afterwards. But if you want to finish everything in 3D, I think the best way would be to like make a kit out of these things and just kind of like duplicate it around. Kind of like have fun like that. I'm actually gonna merge. I think I'm gonna merge all this together. Or just detail for like the camera angle. Keep it fun. I'm gonna merge this down with this guy. I'm just gonna dynamesh this together. Do something like, keep it all like sketchy anyways. I'm just gonna do some kind of flower here.
Smoke y'all niggas, I feel like I just got cancer. Murderous spree's my anthem. All of y'all clowns is banter. Still can't pull your pants up. Kidnap kids like Amber. Hold a little nigga for a ransom.
Yeah, but we can definitely get more guys in here for sure. Get some more people on the stream. Oh, it's fun to like sculpt together.
I thought you went a hamper. I got a bitch on my sofa. I got a chip on my shoulder. You gotta live with your karma, and if you get hurt, then you got what you're supposed to.
If you guys like that, you make it happen.
Told them this is all over. I take the kids on lean and get them all clean and give them all soda. Watch how I do it, I demonstrate. Ooh, I ain't gotta move, I renovate. I don't really pray, I meditate. Yeah, I ain't gotta jump, I levitate. Always on time, I'm never late. I was outside like every day, trying to turn water into lemonade. Now I'm booed up like LMA. I just want to get away. Oh, you don't want war with a rich nigga. You should hit the gym, get a bit bigger. I ain't got patience for bitch niggas. Wrap you in the basement with big tiggers. Your bitch is a thought, you had kids with her. Your watch look lit, but my wrist lit her. You thought he had a plan to the fist hit her. Say uno, dos, tres, cuatro, moreno, gringo, hembra, vato, gangsters, hustlers, killers, follow. I'm the realest nigga I know. I just hit the fucking lotto.
I'm just kind of like, I just started subdividing this a little bit more. I mean, not subdividing, but just adding a little more resolution. Try to get the shapes to flow nice.
I just hit the fucking lotto.
What's up, Jesse? Oh.
Listen, Jordan, what's up? It's Kev. Heard the song "Louder" you just dropped, and I'm gonna tell you right now.
And I'm gonna just start throwing some colors in here, just so you can start understanding more what's going on. And you can kind of see like how it all starts to blend together, and the design becomes a little stronger, you know, stronger on what's actually happening.
I don't know. You think because I'm 5'2" I can't box? I'm 5'4", I'll whip your ass. Swear to God, get your ass whipped by me.
I almost imagine this guy being like one of those, you know, infected that can still have some sort of intelligence. You guys watch some of those movies where you get these type of guys. I don't think I mean, there's definitely not these type of creatures in the game because it doesn't really fit that style, but it'll be pretty fun. A little more Mad Max vibe. Like even here you can see I have shortcuts to like turn on and off the RGB and Z-Ed. I'm always kind of painting and sculpting, and I kind of switch it back and forth with shortcuts.
You know you too lit when you stretching these bands. You know you on top when your enemies fans. You know you too blessed when they think you a threat. Try aim for your neck, but I never be scared.
Split this up.
Drugs, I was packing all the work. Couldn't find a spot, we was trapping out of church. Boost mobile phones, had me waiting for the church. Fresh to death, I was waiting for the hearse. Casket fresh, had the weight going crazy. Show up to your door like the Avon lady. I could be the GOAT, but the hay won't save me.
You can see like I'm just keeping it very loose. And things just like I just break things without thinking too much about the consequences, and it's easy enough to fix stuff or sculpt it from scratch, you know. That's why you gotta kind of look for. That comes with time, I think. Right, so I'm just gonna subdivide this one more. I'm gonna actually like increase it just a little bit more now. So I can start just defining the shape a little bit better. I'm gonna get some of that interesting overlays, I guess, or just an overlay of the skin, how it fits and how it all flows together. So now here there's like an interesting kind of shape happening, and trying to keep everything fleshy, and how the skin would actually push something to the side, and you know, as it grows, like it kind of like overlays on top of each other and create all these interesting shapes. That's kind of the fun stuff here. We're just kind of like finding shape, finding forms from where you're throwing it in there. That's the one of the fun things about 3D. And one of the masters at this is Geo, and he's actually going to be with me doing another one of those streams. We're going to do one together very soon, like maybe this weekend. I'm going to hit him up again and just confirm. But it's looking like this weekend we'll do something together. Something like this, maybe we'll sculpt something together, or maybe we'll just chat. I kind of pick his brain a little bit more of how he thinks about forms, and should be fun. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm just trying to do these more, bring some friends in here, and have a little bit more of a different format that we usually see. Ja, nog een kort rationalizer. You see here, it starts to become very flashy, and I'm just going with the flow. ZBrush haven't crashed at all. Props to that.
Damn it, you done took it to another level. I was patient, you was dangerous, I was young and mellow. Congratulations, you done turned me to a fucking rebel. Yeah, I've been peeping how you move like some new luggage. Used to love you back.
See that? That's fun. That's fun stuff right here. All that flashiness. And see here on the mouth, like this is all like very random that I did, and it actually worked very well. So I'm just gonna use it. That form.
I just made a stack. I gave you the world, now I gotta take it back. I gave you the world, now I gotta fade it black. I lost it all, but I made it back. Got 100 million things all on my mind.
Like that. Like now here on the eyes, we're gonna actually break this down a little more. Now that we have a little more resolution, I'm actually gonna break the eye fold, and we can get into more of the details there. I'm not gonna worry too much on that because we're trying to keep it more to that one view, but again, I'm just trying to keep it consistent. Maybe I'll do like some voting on my Instagram next time. Let's see kind of like some kind of crazy creature we can come up with, and then just kind of sketch live. I think that'll be fun. This is definitely Last of Us inspired for those who are joining us right now. I'm that nigga, I still got my fucking mojo. You love the drama and I think you need your own show. If you call me, it's a no call, no show. Baby, I ain't chasing that. I just made a stack. I gave you the world, now I gotta take it back. Yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna try to use a little bit more of just the stretching of the forms. How the skin is getting pulled by this kind of mutation, right? And kind of thinking of like how did this happen? How did this happen? Like if they actually start pulling from here, from the eyes, what would have happened to all the muscles from here? And keep it interesting. What kind of advice would you give to someone that started a project but now he can't even look to it and still is too far from finishing the sculpt? Man, sometimes, I mean, that's a hard one, but sometimes you just gotta push, you know, just push through it. It's not so much about you. Sometimes you just have to get a little bit more on production mode and just push through it. That's the only way you can actually grow and learn. Like, you have to go through those phases. And a lot of people ask about burnouts, and because that's a very similar thing that you're asking about, right? Like, when you just can't really do it. Like, I think taking breaks is definitely good, but sometimes you just have to just say, like, this is not about me. Like, what would happen if someone was paying me to do this, right? So what kind of what would you do if that was the case? Is the music low? Is that what you're saying? Compared to my voice? Let's see if this is better. See if it's too loud, let me know. But yeah, you know, sometimes you just gotta say, like, I'm just gonna put my heads down and just work through this. Because, like, I mean, that's what you would have to do if someone was paying you to do it. So try to detach you from your goals a little bit. Just look at the goals and go for it. Okay, I lost a little bit of the face in this. Too much. Maybe I'll bring this back just a little bit.
10 bands, 20 bands. She'll do anything for a couple grand. Never had no money, but she let it dance. I give her my money back to Uncle Sam. My ex bitch still want another chance. Man, I swear I never fall in love again.
The music's louder than your voice? Gosh, you guys. Let me go back. Cause my voice is like kind of, I can up the gain. Let's do this. Alright, let me know if this is better. Or is this too loud?
Stress made a nigga bipolar. Washing machine out of order. Nigga had a hustle on the corner. Now I'm back and forth.
Hey, Rena, I know Vancouver Film School. Like I know from like a long time ago. I wouldn't be able to like recommend it or not because it's been too long. I mean, I hear good things, but it's been years since I've seen anybody come out of that school into like the at least the game industry. Most people who come, you know, from school to the game industry comes from like Melbourne, or mostly, you know, Art Institute, but for 3D it's like mostly Melbourne for sure. I'm kind of hitting some renders just to see how the forms are behaving. Once you see a little bit more of a shadow, it definitely changes how you perceive stuff, you know. This side looks completely broken, as you can see. We're definitely not looking too much on this side. So I'm gonna just do some tweaks on this real quick. Probably just the ear position. And also, like, I would love to just do more details on this, but again, we gotta pick our battles here. We don't have a lot of time. And I'm just gonna try to finish it from that one. I mean, at least focus on that one angle. Cool, like just kind of wrapping around like this. Masking, push it in. You see that he's like flare out like that. Pretty nice.
The flames, they calling my name. I wanna be saved, but I don't know how. I thought it was safe, but I got a plan. Let's load up the chopper and riding around. I pull up on them white sleep. You gon' see, it's a fucking murder spree. You gon' see, won't nobody say a peep. You gon' see, don't you turn your back on me.
What's the difference between working as a character artist and art director? I mean, it's a huge difference. Like, you're not supposed to make a lot of art as an art director, and as a character artist, you make characters. You just do a lot of feedback as an art director, and you like set up guidelines and a lot of paint overs. You definitely need that knowledge to give feedback, but you're not supposed to. You're not like as much as like hands-on making art. You're just overseeing a lot of stuff. Let me go up here, see if I miss any question. Any hard surface tips? I mean, hard surface is kind of weird to do it in ZBrush. There's tons of tools and a lot of people can do it, of course. If you want to have kind of a very specific control, you still have to go to like some Maya or 3ds Max to do certain things. But that's definitely changing now. I mean, ZBrush can do a lot of hard surface, and it's a lot of masking, booleans. Look at what is he called? Like Marco Plouffe and Cedric Searle. They do, like, especially Marco, like they do a lot of hard surface in ZBrush, and they have a pretty good presentation on the Pixelogic channel, like where he gets some tips. So check out his work. He can probably teach you a lot more than I can. That stuff, because I'm very much on the masking, H-polish brush, masking, maybe some booleans, but I'll try to keep it very simple. I don't do a lot of final hard surface in ZBrush.
on me. I do not get no sleep, I'm problematic, and I gotta have it. Word to LOG, you don't know me. I need my revenge. No more peace, I'm rolling deep, and I'm finna turn your block up into World War III. I roll up on them while you sleep. You gon' see, it's a fucking murder spree. You gon' see, won't nobody say a peep.
From here, I mean, I could definitely spend more time on this, but I'm gonna start throwing some colors and textures and all that. All the good stuff. Here is way too big. Let's go way down.
Hey, buddy, come in and have a seat. Your mom told me.
Yeah, so another thing I do is kind of reduce the blur and up the angle and the rays, so you see like the shadow will get a lot softer when we do that. Yeah, see, like the model starts looking a lot better. Yeah, I'm gonna focus like mostly here on this area. Now I'm gonna start just refining this a little bit more. I'm just gonna up the Dynamesh count a little bit more, and because it's like, you know, such a big kind of focus for the model, I'm just gonna spend most of my time around here, and it's very much like similar to what you would do in like a concept, right? But like the focus, you know, kind of the focus of the image is where you want to spend most of your time. You don't want to detail everywhere, but this will make it an interesting kind of focal point.
Don't really like the prescription I gave you.
Hey Jesse, have you played around with any iPad sculpting apps? I've tried the Forge app a while back. I think they have a new update, but I mean, when I first got it, it was pretty cool. I even got like a little keyboard for the iPad to like mess with it, and it was fun. I mean, definitely very promising. It was still like a little too buggy for it to do any like. It was a little frustrating to do any work like this, where I'm just like free flow, just kind of like sketching, where I'll find that sometimes the pen would kind of freak out, or the symmetry would get broken. When you Dynamesh it, I mean, they don't call it Dynamesh it, but when you like recalculate the topology, you would kind of lose or break some of the details that I had. So it was a little frustrating, but I mean, I never thought that something like that would be possible on an iPad to begin with. So I was very excited. Have you tried any? Have you tried some? I know you've been messing with ZBrush. That's cool, man. I'm just gonna mask this. I'm gonna push this in. I get a little bit more of like this depth in here. Yeah. See, I use a lot of clay to like build up forms. They're loose. What do you think is the best way to study 3D modeling for games? You have to find a tutorial or a course that has step-by-step stages to it that you can literally just follow. Like someone asks you to like move this point to here, you just do that, because it's a lot really technical. You have to learn that part, taking away the creative side just a little bit. They can understand what you're doing, and then once you get the technical side nailed down, you can get a little more creative. You know, it's just like drawing. Like first you need to learn the technical aspect, so it's a lot of repetition to get the muscle memory. In 3D, there's like a lot more technical stuff that you need to understand, especially for games. So try to get that out of the way first, and then you can start getting creative. Alright guys, I don't want to spend too much time on this. So I'm gonna detail this a little bit more. And then throw some quick colors in it. Try to wrap it up within the next 20 to 30 minutes. And then we can go back another day to just do rendering and comping in Photoshop and all that good stuff. Maybe tomorrow? Well, maybe. What do you guys think? It's so hard to find time to do these things. I gotta say, you know, whatever, and then just do it. You can see here like how this at least kind of saves time now that we have these base going. And ideally, you know, it'd be nice to have more pieces like this. Like the same thing for like this little flower thing that I did here. Flower. This little like mushroom flower or whatever. It'd be nice if I had a couple different like this that I could just kind of throw it around. You know, what I could do here is just duplicate this and just track this piece, you know, delete hidden, pull this, that, and then dynamesh it. But give me something like this that I can kind of make that little shape, you know. Stuff like that. I mean, I'll probably spend, if I were to do this for real, I'll spend a little time just creating like a little kit like this, because it will save me a lot of time and the quality will be better once like this. I can just kind of kit bash some stuff. You can see like I'm not thinking too much here. I'm just reacting more than thinking. I'm not spending a lot of time like you know, thinking, oh, would this be cool or not? I'm just kind of execution mode right now. This is what I was talking about. Sometimes you just gotta do it. You gotta go for it.
Pull up, I'm swerving, I'm whipping the car from the plug and I came with a breaking it. She ain't had to tell me that she wanna fuck, I can see in her eyes she was thinking it. I said she could try, but it ain't gonna work, cause this is the life that we living in. She tell me she don't give a fuck about my past, I told her, baby, mind you got nice face, you ain't got nice body. I still can't love, I still can't trust, baby, I'm sorry. When I'm off that handy, I see
you guys get notified when this starts or no? I've never used YouTube like this before. So exactly how this works. Tips for studying anatomy more efficiently. That's a good question, and I mean that usually kind of comes up when we're doing these things. And the one thing I recommend is just doing like one-off studies. Like sometimes like just doing lunch, maybe get like 15 minutes and just do like a year. Do like a year, and then maybe another day you could do like a arm, and then once you feel comfortable, like, you know, when you do like an ear like that, and again, think about it more of like throwing off work. Yeah, so like, see, like if you've seen on Instagram and not here, like maybe I don't know if subscribing to YouTube is better, and they will like notify you. But yeah, like think about it more as like throw off work, where you can just like, you would just do it, but it's not for a project or anything. You're just doing for the sake of like doing something, practicing. So like do an ear, do an arm, do a leg, following. Like just don't just do it for the sake of doing it. Follow something, and then once you're more comfortable with that stuff, then you can kind of just focus on a bigger project and how would you apply that, you know. Yeah, let me subdivide this, increase the resolution of this lower section. Yeah, so then like then you apply this to a bigger project. That's what I'll recommend. Especially like doing kind of lunch crunch. Take it like half an hour and do some anatomy studies. You know, half an hour is goes by real fast. So if someone tells me that they don't have 30 minutes to you know, practice something, is bullshit. You can find the time. I can definitely turn down the music. Let's go. Let's do this again. I'm gonna very quickly throw some colors in this, or actually, sorry, throw some like details on this. This is like an hour of work, right? It's like we can definitely spend a lot more time on this and get it. Oh no! I'm gonna open this up again. That's what I said, man. ZBrush didn't crash until now. And now it happened. ZBrush. I'm going back to Miami to meet with the cartel. All of you rappers be running around telling shark tales. Oh, ZBrush. Okay, we're back. And I got a shorty who's stuck in a bubble, but I'm still in love with her hustle. Her body banging, and she don't stop talking. I wish that she come with a muzzle. I don't know if I'm in love with the pieces or I'm just in love with the puzzle. Hey, like nothing happened. Because I know these girls these days ain't nothing but trouble. I know I'm the one. Damn it, I made it. Now look what I done. I feel like I'm dreaming. I count on my blessings. I'm really elated. I know I'm a legend. I wanted to make and I know that it's real. I hope they look up to me like we used to look up to Phil. I know that you will. I lay a brick at a time for something I can feel. That's how we leave an impression. Yes, I believe in expression. I got some what was it? What was I? Oh. I don't know. Hell, it's fixing the ear or some shit, but. Rush. Hey. Yeah, I'm gonna just start throwing some details here real quick. Oh, I think I was detailing this fucking. Man, ZBrush, like the new version, the latest version, I think it's been like crashing for like no reason, honestly. Maybe Paul is watching this. Is it still black? Yo, chill, man. Chill out, dude. Is it still black? It should be back now.
Get the information while you're here. Nothing worse than being stupid when you get out of school. So get the information. Being broke is bad. Being stupid is what's really bad. And what's really, really bad is being broken.
Let me know if it's still black.
This is shit I dreamed about when I was only 4. Sugar, water, mac and cheese, we were broken poor. Court evictions, landlords never show remorse. Now I'm in the building, when they greet me, they go home.
Is it still black?
I never needed your acceptance, this is my destiny. I made devil's work and turned it into God's blessings. Can't knock me off the block, this is not Tetris. Life lessons I learned, tables turn, that's my assessment. They told me to be patient, but I need a flex. I'm so famous I can finally hit Jay-Z direct. I might hit up Drake and tell him to send me the jet. I might drink Ciroc with Puff if he send me a check. Lot of squares in my family, I can see the stress.
This should work now.
Bunch of crabs in the bucket trying to eat my flesh. I ain't nothing like you niggas, I don't even rest. I don't sleep until I see success. I wish you the best.
Let me know.
I ain't on no hating shit, I just wanna get rich. I don't do relationships, I don't wanna commit. Lot of bitches did me dirty, ain't talked to me since. And now I'm insecure, closed off, but that's hard to admit. I'm just thinking about the days that were making me jealous. Can't rain on my parade when I'm made of umbrellas.
Perfect back. Should be back. Yeah, ZBrush fucking crash. Crash the stream. He's got that power, man. ZBrush will crash everything.
I hope I never go broke, try to break through the ceilings. 50,000 on the low, I might make an appearance. It's that shit that made them kids run away from their parents. Nigga, I'm breaking your spirit.
Enough is back.
Myself, if I go out, then I might light my wrist. If I die today, I'm happy for the life I live. And my son is only 3, he be like, Mama rich. Told him go outside to play, just be inside by 6. I done made my niggas proud, you ain't gotta love me.
Try to go back.
Write on paper, I just write on Tully. I'm a higher in a system, make it writer for me. This is me against the world, that's the mood I'm in. Hop about the fucking pussy like I'm new again. I remember they was calling me a hooligan. In special education, I just might go back to school again. Whoa, only hit it once, then I make her leave. We ain't cuddling, I need some
Fixed?
If she fuck me good, I let her stay till 3. No, I'm not your man, but we can make believe. Okay, you gotta ask, that don't
There
mean
you go.
anything to me.
Alright, we're back. We're back, fellas. Yeah, I did that. It just didn't come back. I just had to switch it back and forth, so we're good. Alright. I am going to... We're back, we're back. We're back in business. Let's try to use this last bit of time that we have. Let me look at some reference here. See if I'm missing anything. Yeah, that could be cool. So the more we kind of, the more time we spend here, like the more kind of refined it could be. And I think I'll definitely start using pieces, like extra pieces on top of what we have. Like what we did with the mushrooms, like custom pieces that we just add some more like high frequency or some more polished details into it. But like the more we kind of go in now, like we worked on our primary forms, right? And then we started looking into our secondary forms. Then now we're just kind of detailing, like we're gonna start, it's still secondary forms here, but the more closer we get, the more we can kind of start working on the tertiary forms, like the details. And to me, that's the least important part. You can get that very quickly with alphas and just spending the time, honestly. Like what I'm mostly worried about is this overall design and the primary and secondary. So that's why I'm always looking at from far and try to get like an overall feeling. Rather than just kind of go in and start detailing. I'm gonna square out his jaw a little bit more. Something like that. A little bit more of that little mushroom there. And I'm looking at the overall kind of composition and silhouette, like what's missing, right? Like maybe we're missing something around here. So I'm going in and adding that little detail. Probably do the same thing here. Like maybe one of them is just like ready to start growing. So I can kind of doing stuff like that here and now. That's cool. I'll do another one here. Again, we're adding those little details now that we're getting to this point. You start kind of like started to grow, you know. Just kind of improve the shape of this a little bit more. The music stopped. Let's see what you guys want. Justin Bieber, is that what the people want? I'm actually gonna put something like fucking G-Eazy. Dude, let's rock some Justin Bieber. If you guys check out the new Eminem album, not new, I mean recent Music to Be Murdered By, that's pretty dope. Let's do that. Dude, I've been listening to so much Frozen with my little girl that I would never be in this stream. Maybe you guys will hear it from the background, but not from me. Try to get a little bit of a curve on this one. Thanks, man. Thanks, Jonathan. For joining me, guys. Honestly, like, yeah, thank you guys for joining. I mean, it's fun to. I usually get to do this in like conventions and stuff, but not like this. So this is cool. Try to get this nose like getting like stretched up. But what do you guys think about just Twitch versus YouTube? You know, like I know some people mentioned that, but I'm not very. I don't use Twitch as much, so I have no idea like even how it works and all that. I'm just not. I'm usually on YouTube. Let me know if that's something you guys prefer. I mean, honestly, I've been kind of avoiding like doing both just because like I don't want to having to keep track of everything. Maybe YouTube it is, but. I'll probably do like a little kind of like a montage, like just kind of a, what do we call it? Like a little speed version of this. Put it up on YouTube as well. If you guys missed something or want to see just how this took shape during the live stream. I'm getting to a point now, and that's a good thing because usually I have to keep aware of like when I'm just burning time. When we get to this phase of like this detailing, and easily just like burn a lot of time just without making a lot of progress. So what I'm gonna do here is stop doing this. Maybe just a little bit more. But I'm stopping and just starting throwing some colors in this, or actually start throwing some details. You know what I mean? Like that's why you guys have to. I mean, we always have to just kind of keep an eye on that. Throw one of these guys in here in the mix. That's what I was talking about having a more custom kit that could bring it all together real quick. If we just had like something that looked good, you know, because I can just start throwing some of these in here. I'm just gonna throw some of these in here just to add some kind of interesting extra detail. Another thing that I guess comes up a lot is kind of the sketching versus final model. This is definitely something that we're doing quick here, and I'm really getting all the shapes in there. If I were to finish this up, kind of finish for real, it would take, you know, it would take a lot of time. I mean, probably take at least like a few more days just to get this the level of polish that a game would have. So I gotta keep in mind with all the stuff that I'm usually posting. Not really final production models, you know.
I'm moving on, but you know your scruples are gone when you're born with Lucifer's horns and you're from the school of notorious Cuba, Cuban, the poor righteous teachers tutored my students, showed them all the blueprint and formula. But it seems like the more they study my music, the more they remind me of eyeballs. I'm watching.
So Felipe, for constantly feel into that wasting time mode, the tips is just to kind of keep an eye on the clock and not stay on the same area for too long. Always kind of like taking a step back, looking at the overall picture, and addressing the big stuff first. Because definitely, like, the trick of putting details is that you can waste time putting details and then having to erase it later because the form is not right. Like here, I could have spent a lot of time putting details there, but the form itself is going to change. So I try not to ever polish an area for too long. Always thinking of like the overall shape, Let me save this. Before ZBrush crashes again. All we're gonna do is just start throwing some colors in here. And have at least some guidelines for the, or actually let's just throw some details. And again, the details is the least, or the part that is not, at least in my opinion, it's not really important. Because all we're gonna do here is just subdivide it a little bit and go in here with like a dam standard slash brush, and then start kind of like going in here and then just throwing some basic forms. Again, I try not to get too attached to this, because the secret to detailing, in my opinion, is just doing like a couple different layers, a couple different passes of detail, because you start getting like more realistic, more natural, I guess. The realistic is probably not the right word. It's more natural the more you do it. I literally just kind of go with the flow and just let the initial forms dictate where the details would be. I don't try to weave in or go against the forms like here. You can kind of see I'm just going with the flow, adding more details, like literally just adding sharpness to the stuff. Hey, Toti Fernandez, you're asking if I usually sculpt teeth or do I have a standard? Like, I do have base models for that. But for something like this, where it's just kind of more custom, I'll just do it like I did it today, and then refine it. Like here on the teeth, I'll probably just subdivide it more. And the shape is kind of already in there. If this was kind of like for a production model, I'll probably just split the teeth into separate tools. But in this case, this is enough, Again, adding sharpness. Yeah, so let's see here. Any tips on how to smooth parts of sculpting without sometimes losing their shape? Not really, man. I think you gotta get the feeling for the tool and what's gonna do, how it's gonna behave. After you're gonna make more 3D printing videos and ever you're gonna sell Yoshimitsu on a smaller scale. I was actually thinking about this today, like just doing like a little series of like 3D printing and just doing a project from scratch and then 3D printing and sharing with you guys just more about the printers that I have and how to prep it to print it and all that. Like maybe I'll do that. It's just hard to find time, but I do want to share more of that with you guys. Like this, so right now this part here is just very relaxing for me, because I'm just kind of it's all in here already. Now it's just, like I said, just kind of adding sharpness and polishing it up, kind of going with the flow that we established early on. Adding details, like you see, I'm not using any like alphas at this point, but we are gonna come with alphas and add a little bit more of fidelity to it, more details.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen?
How to connect a high poly heading to a low poly body? You just do it, man.
And this is
Go and then weld point by point.
to be murdered by. It is mood music in a jugular
There's
vein.
no secret to
So why don't you
connecting meshes together.
lean back and enjoy yourself until the coroner comes.
Any tips for likeness or observation process? That's actually a good question, and I would love to do another stream for that, like likeness in general, and how I approach when I do likeness. But I mean, overall tips is just a lot of practice. I mean, you only start seeing certain shapes when you do them over and over again. Practice putting a photo on top, see what you're missing, go back, adjusting. That's kind of how you have to go about it. Alright guys, one thing that I'm going to do here is just save time. Not to save time, but one thing I like to do is so divide this. I'm going to do a masking by cavity. And you see, like, capture some details that we have in there. I'm just gonna inflate this down a little bit. And it's gonna like bring a little bit of sharpness to it, like that. And I'm gonna just smooth this out. And you see, like, it gave me like some interesting shapes here. Again, like I said, like it's bringing that sharpness into the model. Like you see here on the face. Push it in a little bit. And smooth this out. And again, we'll bring that sharpness into it. Some of that on the neck. The neck doesn't have a lot of details. And we're gonna do that now. So the result's not gonna be as good. But look at here on the neck, on the trapezes, I guess. And all kinds of cool stuff. All right, so it's gonna go back and keep adding details. And again, we can spend hours and days doing this stuff. Like right now, I'm just going like really fast, just throwing some basic forms in there. For the question about like my creation process for games, I don't have plans to do that. I do not have plans, just because it's just too much. There's just a lot to cover. Maybe in the future. You know, never say never. Just not. I'm just not thinking about that right now. I'm just gonna push these forms back a little bit, just to get that zygomatus bone, I guess, that apple forward. Get more of the skull shape going down here. Something like that. Looks cool. Save. Right, so let's very quickly throw some alphas in here. Throw like a brush. I'm just gonna grab like an alpha, like a skin brush. very quickly, just basic kind of skin. You can kind of see here. That's usually what I use. It's taken from like just a skin photo. And I'm gonna lower the intensity so we have something like this. So when I drop it in here, it gives me that kind of look. I'm just gonna subdivide it once. I'm just gonna very quickly just throw this in here just to get some surface noise. You know, we were talking about sharpness until this point, and now we're gonna start talking about specular. And what we want here is just to break out the specular. Like you see here, how clean the speck is. Like we want to break that up. So we're always looking at the specular at this point and seeing how it behaves, how the details are reacting to that. I'm just gonna throw this all over the place, but we're gonna come back here, and for these kind of more mushroom areas, we'll do like a different treatment on that. Just because, I mean, it's a little weird that you have a pore. It'd probably be something that looks a little more fucked up with all the skin like stretching like crazy. But again, I'm just dragging, dropping in this in here. Well, we could also, we're gonna do that in a second, but use the surface noise to just have like an overall noise to the shape, the structure, the face. Like I want to be careful not to overlap some of these shapes. But look at this. It's cool, right? And we don't want to overwrite that too much with the alpha. Guys, I think we're reaching like a... How much time are we spending on this? Now in 40 minutes, holy shit. Yeah, see, like time just goes real fast. I'm gonna just, yeah, do this real quick and then throw some basic colors, and we'll do the rendering and composing in Photoshop maybe tomorrow or later this week, maybe Thursday. Like I said, dude, just subscribe to YouTube or keep an eye on Instagram. And do that stuff. Try to do this more often. This looks like a little ear. Oh man, that's not intentional. So I'm gonna make this smaller. His ear went all the way down to his traps. Oh, very good sign, little dude. Okay guys, so like another thing we could do, let me just throw some of these details in here. Now let's try to go like negative and hit with some like positives as well. So like see like the bump can actually go up. If you look at scans and how that surface information comes out, it's usually like a mix of that, like down and up. So just to try to keep that surface noise like more consistent, I usually hit like some like this and then some up like that. And the combination gives like something like very natural looking. Subdivide a Dynamesh model. Yeah, I definitely subdivide a Dynamesh model. But again, my Dynamesh models were very low res, man. I think that's part of it. Like I don't go very high with the Dynamesh. Okay, so color-wise, what are we gonna do here? Just add a little connection point here, just so they're not floating. Yeah, so like I said too, like let me save this. Always good to save. You guys just saw what happened. And what we're gonna do is surface noise. You go surface noise. turn color blend all the way down. And you can kind of see what it does. I'm gonna keep it very low and subtle, something like that. I'm gonna copy. Actually, I'm gonna go even lower than that. I'm gonna copy this, apply. So that gave it like some areas that we missed. I'm just gonna paste it into this one. Some areas that we missed with the pores, like we're just getting with the surface noise. I'm just applying to all the pieces here. Alright. Awesome. So let's do some colors. So the colors are, colors are very straightforward. I'm just gonna use the inflate brush, and then I'm gonna just kind of, for now, just use it with a very low intensity and just kind of go with it, and just hit the areas. Like I'm just gonna hit the more high surfaces, like the cheekbone here, like anything that's kind of like still skin that's exposed and going up. I'm just gonna hit everything with the same color. Like for the idea here is it's very close to when you're painting like a statue. You have to come with layers and like use the same color. Like if you just start switching colors like all over the place, then your end result's gonna start looking very like muddy. So we try to do it in like stages. Color, when you're painting on models, like color is very simple, to be honest. Like you don't want to overdo it too much. You just go by layers. Like try to hit some highlights, and then go back with like darker tones. So what I'm gonna pick here, like a more saturated tone, maybe more reddish, and I'm gonna go in like a little bit on the cracks, or like the deeper sections. Again, I'm not using masks or anything. Like this is all freestyle. If you look at the flat color, here's all like kind of what we're painting, right? And I'm trying to hit those cracks here. Cavities, I guess, better than cracks. I'm trying to get that depth in there. Make it interesting. Try to hit the nose and try to hit that ear. A little bit on the lips. I'm pressing S and changing the size of it. It's very like intuitive at this point. There's no for the inflate. There's no specific reason. It's just because I like to. I don't. Oh fuck! Crash again. See, that's what I'm talking about. ZBrush. Paul. Let's fix this. Let's DJ it again. This is gonna be quick. Now I know how to get this back in place, so we're good. We're good, we're good. We're back. We're back. Okay. Maybe I'll update my ZBrush. Maybe it's time. Let me know if it's back. Just rest in peace. Like we never left. Oh, cool. Yeah. Easy enough. There you go. Alright guys, so like with this stuff, like hitting the warm colors, and then I think it's all about like getting some contrast going. I'll look into these crashes too, so next time we don't have to mess with these crashes. Just keep going here, getting some colors. Again, we're using the same color. We only use 2 colors so far, and if you look at the color now, you can kind of see what's going on. So only kind of an airbrush type of vibe.
That is the bartender there at Mandalay Bay, and I believe we are going to hear more from her. We just wanted to share that with you. You can see behind me here. This is what he looks like. Now, we did just tell you that police just earlier, Metro was telling us that he killed himself inside the hotel room. Good morning. As we come to you on the air, we bring you breaking news, a school shooting.
Alright, we're back. Until it crashes again. This thing's gonna crash. We all know it's gonna crash. So we all gonna have to hang in there. How ZBrush work. There's no telling when he's gonna crash. Alright, so next step, what we're gonna do here, and just push the contrast a little bit more. I'm just gonna come with this darker blue, because we went with the warms. Now we're gonna go with the colds. Maybe some dark, some dead skin going on. Get that cool looking. Some fresh ZBrush. You know what's gonna be good? We're gonna get Paul in here. We're gonna get Paul from Pixelogic in here, so he can explain himself. Yeah, this is kind of, we're just gonna put a tongue in here. Look at that, how hacky that was. So good. Okay, I'm just gonna get some of the more deeper contrast here with the very warm reds. I'm just gonna hit those guys on the edge. You know why it reminds you of Alex? Because I'm doing kind of like an orc. Alex always just do orcs. That's why it reminds you. The Orc Master. Any tips for studio interviews? Got my first ever coming up. Man, I would love to do a video just talking about that. But just be yourself, man, and go prepared. A lot of people don't go prepared. Make sure you're bringing your portfolio with you. If you have a laptop, bring that so you can show your ArtStation. Don't expect people to have everything ready for you to go. It is actually a good test when you go to interviews and we don't do anything and just wait to see what the person does. If you're just like sitting there and be like, hey, what do you guys want from me? Or use go prepared, you know, bring your shit with you. Just be like, yeah, I'm here, man. I'm here for the job. I'm ready. Let's go. That's I guess the quickest tip I can give you. All the rest is just, it's on you. If you're ready and if you have the skills, you get the job. If not, then I mean, shows you're not ready. You just keep working on your skills, keep sharpening your skills. You get there. That helps. Anthony? Yeah, guys, so like here, I mean, it feels like we got pretty good colors going down. I like this kind of bluish hue here. I'll probably throw some of that in the body as well. Kind of being very careful because I don't want this shit to crash right now. Something wrong with one of the, you know, one geo that I don't know which one it is. That I feel like that. It's with me again. Yeah, darkening the kind of the outer portions of it. So the focus is on the face. And then from here, you know what we can do? We can start using masks. So if you look at the flat color now, I didn't use any sort of alphas or anything for this guy. This is all just airbrushing, right? Let me save this. Or airbrushing. And now we can use masks. I'm just gonna here masking, mask by cavity. So here now you can see the masking is giving us all that pore information. And because this guy is like so warm in the color, I'm definitely gonna go with a more darker bluish tone, and I'm just feeling the match with it. Now you can see like all the detail popping. I didn't do the same here. Actually didn't do the pore details for this section, but whatever. Actually, not whatever. Let's let me bring that alpha back real quick. Real quick, I forgot this section. I'm gonna mask by cavity and then fill this in. Like that. To the neck. And we'll do this part. And that looks dope. Looks pretty cool. What you can do now too is kind of mask by cavity. I do the same thing, but the other way around. So now we have the highlights. And I'm just gonna click here on the view mask so we don't see it. I'm just gonna bring an alpha. Something that has contrast in it. Something like a concrete type of texture. And then I'm gonna just throw that in here with a warm kind of bright color. I'm gonna throw like 100% just so you guys can see it. That's gonna add some like variation to it. Like if we look at just a flat color, you kind of see like it kind of brings in a little bit of a pop with some kind of variation, and it makes it kind of more natural looking. Maybe, I don't know if it's easy to see on the stream, but kind of get some cool like hues out of that. Do the same here. Do the same here. Dude, that's what we're doing for today. Check it out. I'm just gonna double this up. Keep a good half resolution. We got that anti-aliasing looking pretty sharp. I'm gonna reduce the shadow here, push the angle, push some of the rays. That render button. Wait it to render just a little bit. Calculating. PC about to blow up. So look at that. Rock and roll. You can definitely see, like, you know, we can definitely spend a lot more time on this. Just to kind of polish it up, you know what I mean? Spend a couple days getting this shit, like, into a good spot. But 2 hours, right on the mark. And we'll do another one on this. I'll take this, I'll do some different render passes. I'll throw it in Photoshop, show you guys some of my comping techniques and all that. So yeah, subscribe to this stuff, man. We'll do another one maybe later this week. Try to keep it fun. I appreciate you guys showing up, asking the questions. I know I didn't, you know, answer a lot of questions. I did it as much as I could, but we're gonna have more opportunities, and definitely if you guys want to come back and so we can chat, I always appreciate it. Let me do another render just with a more top-down lighting, because you know how we do. We're about to get scary over here. Yeah, guys, like I'll make a little time lapse of this. I'll put it up this maybe tomorrow, tonight maybe. I don't know how much work will be just to speed it up. Probably not a lot. I'll drop it in. You guys can check out. If you miss a little bit of the process, like you know, this is gonna be saved in the videos as usual. Hopefully, if this thing works, and should be cool. I mean, I had a good time. It's looking cool. And we'll do this again soon. Cheers, guys. I appreciate it, guys. I'll see you soon. Take care.